Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to Kundalini Yoga and Advaita Vedanta, Swami Sarvapriyananda. So I tried to look for some more from Sadhguru, but that was the only video that I found. So now I'm looking at the next Guru Swami that I normally watch, which is Sarvapriyananda. So let's see what he has to say about Kundalini Yoga and Advaita Vedanta. That sounds so weird saying Advaita Vedanta.
Is the experience of the awakening of the Kundalini and the experience at the Anahata, the heart center of the uncreated light. So what is the uncreated light? So is it the same as aparoksha anubhuti? Yes and no. So in what sense?
He always just seems to be his answer. Yes and no. I get it though, I guess, it's always like a yes and no.
Yes, and in what sense no?
Yeah.
In the sense that Kundalini, this is an entirely different approach. So Kundalini Yoga and the approach of Advaita Vedanta. Advaita Vedanta is the approach of vichara, investigation, inquiry into the self. So our experience of ourselves, by which I mean nothing more than what we all do, subject and object, waking, dreaming and deep sleep, or the layers of the physical, the personality which we have, an inquiry into that in order to arrive at the witness consciousness, which is not an object. And in Kundalini Yoga, what is done is a series of meditative practices, which are both yogic and tantric, which lead to the awakening of the mystical force called Kundalini, and which is then visualized as traveling up the Sushumna, the central nerve channel within the spine, up to the different centers, the seven centers, psychic centers in the body, to the heart center, where the first spiritual experience takes place. Sri Ramakrishna says one is struck with a wondrous experience, and the spiritual seeker says, "What is this? What is this?" In Bengali, "Eki, eki." So it's an extraordinary breakthrough when one for the first time appreciates what is meant by the spirit, by consciousness, not body, not even mind, not experiences like seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, none of that. Not even like thinking, feeling, not even the most extraordinary intellectual understanding. Beyond all of that, I suddenly perceive at the core of my being is this immortal light. Light, why it's called uncreated light, this is created light. Even the sunlight, created light. It's part of the material world. And one is taken to a subtler level. There is a light which is the eyes and the ears and the senses are kind of light because they reveal certain things to us. Your eyes reveal forms to you, ears reveal sound to you, and so on. So senses can be seen as a kind of light. Light here is within quotes now, not a physical light. Subtler than that, all the senses are known by the mind. So the mind is a higher kind of light. And the mind is itself known by what? Or revealed by what? That is the uncreated light. And that's at the core of our being. That's what we truly are. So that's realized there. The uncreated light, the anahata dhvani, the unstruck sound. And then there was that phrase he used after that. Uncreated light, unstruck sound, and then?
He has uncreated sound, and one recognizes his or her actual nature as the spirit.
Then one recognizes his or her actual nature as the spirit.
Huh. Oh, I thought the uncreated light itself would be the Atman. But that's actually maybe a middle ground between your brain, uncreated light, then Atman. As far as I'm understanding. I would have assumed that uncreated light is already Atman.
This is the result of that experience. Spirit means consciousness. I am that light. So that is the sum total, the sum and substance of that experience is that I am not this body and mind. I am that light which I experience, not as an object. It is experienced as the subject, as I am that. So it's not an objective experience. It is rather experienced as the very nature of the experiencer. Language fails here. So,
and this is actually what I was talking about in Swami Tarat video about how, how are we able to experience ourselves if we can we only ever experience objects, or can the subject experience the subject? Can the subject become the object? And this is, I think, what he's trying to say here. At least that's what I'm understanding. Is the fact that how can the thing that we experience is not an object; it's the subject. So the subject is experiencing the subject. But he's saying the language fails here. So that is the question that I have: is if it's true that we can only ever experience objects, and we cannot experience the subject. And if everything's the subject, then how am I experiencing this pen if this is also Brahman? I am Brahman, this is Brahman, how am I experiencing this? If this is the subject, how is my subject experiencing this subject? That's the question.
This is Kundalini Yoga. And in the path of Advaita Vedanta, where the term Aparokshanubhuti comes from, we know, we inquire into our experience of the self. We inquire into what we are. So the first answer is, am I the body? And then we see why we are not the body. These are not just arguments. They seem to be like philosophical arguments. The body is changing and I experience myself as unchanging. The body is an object. I experience myself as the subject. The body is insentient. I experience myself as sentient. Insentient means that I am aware of the body. Body is not aware of me. That's what it means. By all these so-called arguments, these are not just philosophical arguments. They are meant to convince us intellectually that I am not the body. But deeper than that, they are meant to show us. This is something that most people don't understand. Once you appreciate this, the true magic of the Advaita path becomes evident. It is not just convincing us intellectually. It's actually showing us, as a matter of fact, when I show you, here is a piece of cloth. Is it an argument? No, I'm giving you an experience. That I am not the body, I'm not the mind, it's actually an always available experience. Just the path of showing us is through a philosophical inquiry. Once we see that, then we automatically become aware of ourselves as the light or the consciousness which experiences all of this, body and mind. So this is the Aparokshanubhuti path. You will come to the same realization as this one. What is the difference? Two major differences, one methodological and one in the ultimate conclusion. The methodological difference is this. In the Kundalini Yoga path, you await certain mystical experiences. Very powerful, and they're genuine. But they are mystical experiences. Why am I saying mystical experiences? Mystical experiences which are extraordinary. They come and go. That uncreated light in the heart, is everybody seeing it all the time? No. It depends on a series of a practice which ultimately culminates in that kind of a mystical experience. Whereas in the path of inquiry, one inquires into what already is. One is not looking for a new kind of experience. So a kind of philosophical inquiry into what already is, and that it reveals itself as that consciousness which is there. One is the path of mystical experience, seeking a mystical experience. The other is the path of what might call a direct path of inquiring into what already is. That mystical experience comes and goes, but if it is successful, it will show you the same realization that I am this witness consciousness. So that's one big difference. It's called, it's a methodological difference in approach. The second big difference is in the ultimate realization. Aparokshanubhuti does not stop at realizing I am the witness consciousness. It just begins there. Then one is invited to inquire into what you have discovered, that I am the witness consciousness. Is this witness consciousness limited? By limited I mean, is it one here and another there and a third one there, and one witness consciousness in each body and mind. Is that so? Or is it one witness consciousness in all bodies and minds? Is it limited, that it is here and not there? Is it limited in space? Is it limited in time? Yeah. So, and one discovers it is not limited. That it is one existence consciousness bliss in which the entire universe, all beings, they appear and are experienced in that one consciousness. This unlimited consciousness is called Brahman. So the ultimate realization in this Aparokshanubhuti, the path of Jnana Yoga or Advaita Vedanta, is I am Brahman, the ground of this entire universe, the one reality of this entire universe. That is not so in the path of Kundalini Yoga. Okay.
So it's just a different type of path to the same, again, like to the same mountaintop as an example was used before. One is through mythicism, and one is through, it seems more scientific, as in through, I guess, but it's still through experience, though, is it not? Kundalini and Advaita Vedanta. It's just that it's just a different method. That's all it is, as far as I can tell. So I'm not sure about the excuse me, the mythicism part of it. I don't think I've been saying that right. The mythicism part of it, anyways. Yeah. Interesting. Now I'm kind of curious as to what the method is like. So, interestingly, in Advaita Vedanta, there's the 4 yogas, which is, the 4 different paths you can take in Advaita Vedanta. I believe those 4 yogas are in Advaita Vedanta. So far, it seems like it. And I'm wondering now about Kundalini. Is there 114 paths or 112? But yet 2 seems to be unachievable according to Sadhguru? And how difficult those paths are. And do you need to know all those paths? Do you have to achieve all those paths to achieve enlightenment? Well, anyways, I'm going to actually look for more Kundalini from Swami here. If not, then it's going to be on to the next Swami that has one. Alright, if you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.